It's the special event of the day, of course, the panel discussion. So for every panel discussion to succeed, we need someone who can hold the show together, right? Everyone agrees to this fact. And like I mentioned earlier, we have more than about a century of experience with us sitting today. Which, it's a lot of experience to gain in. So to moderate such a session, we've got someone who's got about 3 decades of experience with it. So I would like to request Dr. Ainain Shagiri, who is the master of packaging as far as I'm concerned, who's been training the industry, who's been consulting in the industry, who's rather spearheaded many companies in the past in terms of their packaging, who's developed products probably which a lot of them are using today. And no fine better gentleman than him to moderate a session like this. So requesting Dr. Shagiri kindly come on stage for us.
First of all, may I request all of you to give a thumping applause to the speakers before me. Let's clap for them. Thank you very much for sharing the subtle facts about this exhibition, sir. And I wish you all a very, very good morning. Is it okay? Am I right? Yeah. So good morning once again. Well, I am always under the image of morning. For me, afternoon never happens, evening never happens, and night never comes in my life. It's always morning, and that keeps me charged. And why? Because I met a person in Ludhiana when I was working there. I was strolling in the morning and the rose garden, very famous rose garden of Ludhiana, and I found a gentleman with a lot of energy. He was sweeping the floor. I watched him. I found immense personality, excellence in that. I was just watching him, so much of enthusiasm, so much of energy he was displaying while sweeping the floor. I looked at him, I said myself, if I put that much of energy in my work, I will really excel in my work. Because it's a qualitative aspect of the individual which matters in life. And because of that person's involvement in sweeping the floor, I remember a quote by none other than Martin Luther King. I would like to read for all of you. Can I? Yeah. So let me see that. It's all about personality, excellence. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare writes a poetry. He should sweep the streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great sweeper who did his job well. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody can become world class just like that. He or she has to really put in a lot of efforts, and there comes the value of a standard in life. In every sphere of life, we have a standard. Just imagine the people who have succeeded in their personal life, in their professional life, wherever they are, they have followed standards in their life. And here we are today to talk about standards in packaging. Because packaging is the source of business. Packaging is a silent salesman. Packaging is something which is creating enthusiasm, energy, excitement in the minds and hearts of consumers. And there comes a business when we are sitting in the heart of consumer. And that doesn't come just like that. Standards in packaging is a great topic for the day, and I'm sure this panel discussion will help you understand this much better, because we have got a battery of great speakers, and I would request all of you to pay attention to all of them very, very seriously. And let me introduce my speakers. Okay. This gentleman is an engineering and projects director, South Asia. He has set up factory in Chittagong, Bangladesh. He has delivered in past projects called Raftar, transformation projects in Pakistan. He has set up a new factory in Colombo, and he has put in commendable work in Istanbul, Egypt. This person has also set up a greenfield project in Assam in minimum possible time, and from concept to completion and brought this live. This gentleman is a jewel for all of us, Mr. Ram Badoria from Unilever. Our next speaker is a versatile, experienced person in supply chain and operations, manufacturing. He is a business transformation professional leader with more than 3 decades of experience in hardcore pharma industry. He comes from Cipla. Now he is managing the business with Indigo Remedies Limited. He is a consistent motivator and mentor in new learning concepts. He is based at Mumbai and he is instrumental in developing cost-effective alternatives for various operational and procurement strategies. I am talking to all of you about Mr. Sachin Ghoshalkar from Indigo Remedies. He is Senior Vice President, Operations and Supply Chain. The next speaker, he is counted among the most network packaging and supply chain professional globally. This gentleman is one of the most respected professionals in the region, winner of prestigious India Star Awards several times, World Star Awards also many times, and he believes that key to future growth is sustainability and innovation in the packaging industry. With 25 years of experience, key focus being procurement, P&L, supply chain, packaging development, design, supply chain management, vendor development, he calls himself a philosopher as well as a speaker. He has addressed various forums presenting technical papers on various aspects of packaging. I am talking to all of you about Mr. Amit Kale. Please come, sir. The General Manager working with Reliance Retail Limited, handling consumer brands packaging. Thank you. The next speaker for us is the gentleman, a very suave gentleman with amazing experience in pharma industry, more than 3 decades. He is currently working as President Manufacturing Operations at IPCA Ipca Laboratories Limited. He has experience in handling various dosage forms, solid oral dosage forms, tablets, capsules, liquid orals, semi-solids, steriles, aerosols, and many of them. He has a special quality, certified as a black belt coach as well. And he teaches, he conducts various training in black belt and green belt. So, ladies and gentlemen, put up your hands together for Mr. Shailesh Lal from Ipca Laboratories, President Manufacturing Operations. Welcome, sir, please. Now, our next speaker, not I mean say very how would I explain him? I met him about a couple of years ago, 5-6 years ago, and I am very happy to see him growing in the business. He is heading packaging development function with Marico Industries, a hardcore FMCG packaging development person, known for his innovative thinking, problem solving, attention to details and commitment to quality. He has successfully led very many packaging projects in Marico and many other companies where he has worked for. He has honed his expertise in packaging through diverse role in leading organizations across FMCG sector. So we have got pharma, we have got FMCG sector experts. Let's welcome Sanjeev Sharma, General Manager, Marico Industries Packaging Development. First of all, let me extend my warm thanks to all of you, all the panelists. Thank you very much for making it possible, sir. Now, let's begin the discussion so that we can share our thoughts and help our audience learn whatever we are talking about standards in packaging. Let me begin with Mr. Ram Badoria. Mr. Ram, you have handled various projects in automation, robotics, sustainability, energy, supply chain, setting greenfield factories, brownfield factories at various locations. So in your experience, how could you drive the standardization in packaging in such a diverse area of your work and maintain harmony as well?
Thank you for asking that question. And once again, a warm welcome to all the delegates who are sitting there, and I could see the the full faculty of PMI as well. So thank you for, in fact, inviting me as well for this. And let me go back to Unilever in terms of what exactly we are doing and how and what are the impacts which we are having on the society in terms of packaging. Say, as you all know, Unilever, I'm saying from an FMCG sector, we are present into home care, which is into detergent, Surf Excel, Ring, and other brands and all. We are also present in the personal care categories, both orals and the skin cleansing part of it, right from hammam to pear soap. We're present into the nutrition category now, as we call it, which is right from foods, beverages, Taja Tajmel, Lipton, and brew, coffee, and all Hellman, which we launched recently in the mayonnaise, and also the peanut butter, which is growing multiple folds now. And the other categories, of course, ice cream balls, quality balls we have. And so I'm saying in these sectors, 5 sectors where we are, we also created what is called beauty and well-being. This is after the COVID, we thought, and it is believed also that I think the well-being part of it will be nurtured and developed more into it, and that is an area for growth. Beauty has undergone a tremendous change, and it's not only the beauty of females now, the more grooming males now need beauty as well, and that's an area where when some of you might visit our Haridwar factory, you will see that we have 400 shades of lipstick. You can't just distinguish with your eyes, on it. So, and that is run by full women itself. So coming back to the question of standardization in packaging. So Unilever, we have got 238 factories all across the world, and in India 29 factories, own factories when I talk about. I'm not talking about co-packers or collaborative manufacturing, our partners and all. And we have got 6 development centers across the world, and India being one of them, Shanghai, and then Brazil, and then Trumbull in US, and then of course London in Europe. And these development centers, so let's say I need a packaging for a Tresemme shampoo or a Sunsilk shampoo and all. So we'll work, one center will work at a time on the development of the packaging part of it. And packaging is, the dilemma of the packaging is that you can't avoid it, It doesn't add value to the consumer because you use it and then throw it, It adds to the wastage. It adds to the recyclability or not I'm saying biodegradability and all. Now you can't do away with it, because you have to, I'm saying this is where the consumers come in, and you need to give the product in some kind of packaging, whether that is flexible or rigid, bottle or or a tub or a pack, So what I'm trying to say is that with these development centers, which are at 6 places, we develop that packaging, and solution for it. And if it is, let's say, a Tresemme or a Sunsilk at one location, then we standardize across that region, and in fact world over it also. So if you look at the shape of our bottles of let's say a shampoo of a Tresemme, the same you will find it in China, you will find in the London also the same, and Mumbai also the same, because that goes to the same mold as well. Now how does it help? Because the development of the mold, the development of the packaging, it's very important that we standardize it, otherwise it can be nightmare. In fact, I'm just saying it, in this category itself there are at least 250 SKUs, just a small category of a shampoo itself. Look at the full portfolio, there would be 10,000 of an SKUs. And you can't deal with it unless you standardize and say, okay, this is bottle, 50 ml to 1 liter, I'll keep it in this bottle. I'll go with a sachet, I'll go with a big nose or a spout in these kind of, formats on a category. So from a Unilever perspective, where our investment is packaging is huge, I just can't say, I'm saying a 53 or a 54 billion euro company, almost few billion of euros we are investing in packaging year on year on it in development, because the shape is changing, the volume is changing, the format is also changing, and that's how we maintain the standardization in Unilever. I'm sure in other FMCG
Thank you,
similar.
lovely.
Thank you.
The volume of packaging spent in Unilever is humongous. So many projects, so many brands. I'm sure you must be investing every year, new modes, new design, new ideas, new colors. So thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on this subject, sir. Now let's move from FMCG to pharma sector, and let's learn something from our great friend Mr. Shailesh Lal. Sir, you being a hardcore pharma industry personality and known for various strict document, which is pharma industry is known for various strict documentation, regulatory activities. Every step is so critical and crucial while analyzing the packaging, because even a small minor miss can create a huge havoc in pharma industry. I was with Ranbaxy, I know, when FDA and US FDA people used to come and check our documents, we used to be very scared, and so it's very, very important. And that's why standardization becomes so critical. So, the audience would like to know from you, what is the effect of not standardizing packaging materials? What is the impact of this on quality and productivity if there is no standard?
Okay, first of all, thank you for inviting me here and giving me an opportunity to be a part of the panel. Like Mr. Anthony said, we all take something back. So today, from your presentation, I take something back, that your organization is doing so many things, especially training and educating people. So thank you for that information. And another lead from what he said, that what attracts people to the product.
Yes.
So packaging attracts the people to the product. I would like to add that it also protects the product. For pharma, as you say, it is more important as a protection. Of course, the outer covers are more important, but it is also important that it protects the product and keeps it as it is till it reaches to the customer and there is a full effect on the customer. So we have seen, because we are here for 32 years now, we have seen the industry and what were the requirements earlier. Earlier we were all doing many manual operations. And when we are doing manual operations, it was easier that there is some difference in some of the packing materials. It's okay. We used to make up with 2-3 more people on the line and everything. But as things changed, we got a lot of machines, and day by day the standards of the machines that we are getting is improving. The precision of the machines is also improving, and there is a high volume demand. So the machine, not as much as FMCGs, but in pharma also, the production levels have gone very high. In such cases, if you don't have standardized, suppose you don't have standardized packing material, these non-standardized packing materials will never allow the machines to run at that speed. There are stoppages, they'll get stuck somewhere, there will be a loss of product, there will be a lot of rejections. So ultimately the solution is to reduce the speed and try to absorb that material or whatever we have bought for the packing. Just try to use it up so that we pack that much product and give it to the market. So ultimately productivity, yes, it is hampered, and it is every now and then you stop the machines, you adjust the machines. The other thing about standardization is when we take a high-speed machine and we run, we talk to a supplier and they give us the material which is suitable for the machine, right? And then there is a changeover and the lot changes and we get it from some other supplier and it is not of that same standard. Again, you have to do a lot of settings and everything we have to do and stop the machine, and the productivity goes down. Similarly, as I talked about, the quality, the protection of the product is more important. So if I get a foil which is having laminates, which is not of the standard material, and I get a moisture permeation inside, my product goes haywire. We can't do anything about it. And then apart from production, this is a quality issue that comes in. There are some blisters where, because of the material, it doesn't get sealed. And they open up. And they open up to the worst case, and as a nightmare, they open up in the hands of the customer. We see that it is not, And then what? Then there's a recall, there's a waste of money, time, energy.
It's a huge loss all over.
Huge loss all over. So I think the standardization, as we go and become more and more progressive in our speeds and the accuracies that we want to have, we need more and more standardization as to it can accommodate anything
Very
which is supplied by us.
Apart from establishing the norms for standardization in your organization, I think suppliers are also getting very curious about this and very clear about this, that their cartons would not run unless they follow a specific standard. So a lot of improvement is happening in the industry as well. Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us on this standardization, productivity and quality aspects. So I come to Mr. Abid Kale. Mr. Abid, as you believe that the key future of growth is sustainability and innovation, which can make packaging a more sustainable, inevitable evil, as you say, inevitable evil. Such a nice way of explaining packaging, inevitable evil. How does packaging standardization impact sustainability and environmental concerns?
First of all, hello. First of all, thanks Vireshji for calling me, inviting me here for this wonderful panel discussion. And thanks Anand sir for introducing me. That was a wonderful introduction. Of course, I wrote it. So you quoted Martin Luther, right? So then that reminded me of our Lokmanya Bal Gangadhar Tilak. So he was once asked, what will you like your child to become? So he said, माझ्या मुलाने चप्पल शिवली तरी चालेल, पण जगामध्ये कोणाची चप्पल फाटली तर त्याने माझ्या मुलाकडे आला पाहिजे. As in, even if my son becomes a cobbler, it's okay. But anyone, if there is in the entire world, anyone has a problem with his slippers, he should come to my son. So that is what I think on similar lines he said. So talking about standardizations, there are two parts to it. One part is, of course, we use standard material to manufacture packaging, and we give proper specifications, and proper specifications are followed. And the other standardization which I am keen to talk about is the standardization in terms of SKU standardization. For example, once when you start a organization, a company, you slowly develop products. Of course, Hindustan Lever, 259 factories, 10% of it is already, more than 10% in India. So, as you grow, as you launch home care, personal care, then you launch different brands, and then you go on investing in R&D and developing different products and different packaging material. And then you, at the end of maybe 5-10 years, you realize that there are a lot of SKUs and there are a lot of change parts. So, for example, a corrugated box. In fact, me and Anand sir worked on the standardization of corrugated box in user. So we had about 1,000 odd sizes, and we were manufacturing blank optical media, and that is CDs and same CDs, but exports. We had different sizes. So we worked on this and to reduce this maybe by 10% every year annually, and then come to maybe not 700, but maybe 100, 150, 200 sizes. So that is what the standardization we were looking at. Why? Because once we do that, one, we get an advantage when we talk to our vendors, because they have minimum changeovers and they can come back to us giving the volume discounts that we are expecting.
Yes.
So we reduce there. And second, when it comes to our line also, we reduce the change part, because of course all this line is automatic. So every time the box dimension changes, we have to change something. We have to stop the machine and do the changeover. But if we have a standard corrugated box, then we may not, those changes will be limited. Then secondly, now I'm in retail, so we have the generic pack. So we are servicing our own retail stores by private labels. So we have our generic pack where we have, for millets for example, for 10 different kind of millets, we have, there's a millet here also you said, right? So different millets. So for 250 kg, there are maybe 10 different printed flexible packaging used. So can we not use a standard packaging, maybe with a similar, same artwork, and change? The most innovative thing today, when I was in Interpack, I saw this inkjet printing having can print in 2 different colors. So can we not use that inkjet printing to mention the nutrition value, the statutory requirements of nutrition value, and the name of the product, and use the same packaging material, which will give Virej Bhai an advantage, to print, and he can pass on that advantage to us in terms of quantity. And we can say both mutually, because changeovers reduced at his end, also at our end. So that kind of standardization is what I was looking at, and but the standardization should not go wrong. For example, we have seen, all of us receive a lot of online shopping you do, and you receive a lot of boxes which are standardized, but there are it's a lot of wastage actually. Because of this kind of standardization, what has happened is, you are putting different products in the same box, but it is actually wastage for everyone. It's an inevitable evil, as I say, because once the packaging is received by the consumer, it is a total waste for him. It is of no use to us. And if you really want to be sustainable, then you have to be, you have to really think of what kind of standardization we should do, wherein it helps the consumer also, it helps the user also, and the environment as well. So standardization has to be thoughtful and in particular direction to save money and the environment.
Well said.
Thanks a lot.
Well said, Amit. Thank you very much. You also mentioned about hand-holding the suppliers as well, because I remember when I was working with Gillette, we literally used to take over the factories of our suppliers, put in our QC people over there, train their people, set the system and standards in their factory, get the packaging material as per my requirement, so that my machine is capable to run those materials. That much of close harmony is very, very important in setting up the standard. And as you said, there's a proposal stage, preparatory stage, then you have got committee stage, implementation stage. The standards cannot be set just like that. A lot of thoughts go into that, and once we are going through all those activities, we set the right standard. Thank you very much, Amit, for sharing your thoughts on this. Let's come back to the pharma industry once again, where we have Mr. Sachin Goshalkar. Let's learn something from him. Sir, as I understand, you have handled operations of many manufacturing units, and also about 50 plus loan licensing and third party activities are working under you for domestic and international formulations. You have also successfully faced FDA and other audits. I'm sure standardization in packaging must have been the focus area in your activity as well. Audience will be very happy to learn from your experience in developing or standardizing packaging.
Thank
In
you.
your area.
Hello. Thank you for this question. Thank you first of all to invite me here. When Dr. Shaidi said good morning, I was just wondering that he is waking us up or what. But then he said it twice, thrice, and then I thought, yeah, he's saying something else. And then he gave us a good example on what he wanted to say. And now sitting in the panel and you getting a chance to speak as fourth, I was wondering what do I speak about it on the standardization. So when both of them started, I started thinking that I will talk about not of standardization, but then how an SKUs could be standardized. And he took away that. I don't know what's going to happen to Sanjeev. But I would appreciate Dr. Shaidi also that he twisted the question and connected this me to the audits. I never thought that this standardization of packaging could be connected to any audits or something. But yes, definitely now I started thinking about it, and it enlightened me also. let me tell you, any pharma colleagues who are here would appreciate or would understand what happens when an auditor comes, or rather, why any pharma, but anybody who has got an auditor, even the suppliers, when any customer comes and wants to audit it, we know what happens. And when they are just looking at your machine, how it is running, though whether it is a high-speed machine with an, having a big brand, and if it is not running because of the packing material, then it doesn't work anywhere. Definitely this standardization is always, being a key for any industry rather. And let me tell you, when an auditor comes in, or rather when they want to look at it, it's like documentation and the rejections that they look at first. And then it comes up whether you are up to that. You would be having the best of the machines and not the best of the supplier who's giving you the material, then it doesn't work. So, this is a marriage which has to go along and it has to work. Yes, we had done a lot of work on this standardization, and because of that, the documentation had helped, smoothly giving the specifications and making that happen, and that getting aligned with, or rather aligning your suppliers also. Believe me, I think so. My friend is sitting here and he always tells me, when you buy an IMA machine, then this is the specifications or this is the cartons that you should be running on it. And then when I go to my packaging development guy, and he would say, "Nahi sir, 270 GSM bhi chal jayega uspe." Because everyone has that in mind, how to make it happen. But yes, I think there is a lot of things that we do it, and it works. So we have a lot of ideas. I think so, Doctor, you going to ask us another question also? Or
Yes.
So means, should I take some more time to speak, or it's good enough that people should not get bored also?
You can take 30 seconds more, sir.
Then let me hand it over to Sanjeev and then come back again.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well said there, Mr. Sakin, about this. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, I remember when I was working with Ranbaxy Laboratories, working on his stack packaging, the effervescent tablet. My boss, Mr. M. Hemadri, who was there heading the packaging department, he told me, he called me, everybody else, said, day after FDA people are coming in, where is your special document book? So we were given the R&D book, and all the things, whatever research we did, were put over there. So he evaluated our R&D book very carefully, so that FDA people, do not find any evidence of our failures over there. So he could find one mistake, but you cannot cut, you cannot tear the page. It was a very difficult situation for all of us, for me, for his stack. So what he told me, he said, throw this, take a new one, write down everything whatever you do, carefully, so that you are safe. I did that, sir. I know audits are, very difficult to manage.
Sorry, the best part is like the auditor is there and you realize it, he misses that page, and next day when he comes back, you have changed the whole book as well.
My goodness, okay. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sachin. Let's come to FMCG once again. Sanjeev, you being a seasoned packaging professional, with a deep understanding of the intricacies involved in creating effective packaging solutions for various FMCG products, can you provide examples of successful packaging standardization in your organization per se?
Surely. Good evening to the lovely audience over here, and thank you for having me over here.
Thank you.
And thanks to Dr. Shaili for that lovely introduction. I am working as a group manager. I still need to cross the journey to the general manager. So I just wanted to get it cleared to the audience. Yeah. So Marico being kind of 25 years old company, but we are still very young at heart, and we develop agile processes. I would answer my question a little bit onto the brands, trying to emphasize how we are doing differently for the e-com business. Post-pandemic, e-com has become a very important channel of market, and it's a very growing market. And the packaging processes which we have developed earlier was mostly for the general trade as well as the modern trade markets. With e-com coming into the picture, these processes are redundant. So we had to develop new processes, new protocols, new testing methods to sustain, because e-com transit has a lot of hazards to it. The way the e-com packs are being handled in the market, it's very rigorous. So the packaging, what we have developed for general trade or modern trade are many of the times does not sustain into the e-com markets, and we get a lot of complaints. And we at Marico believe in the approach of try and fail fast. So for a lot of selected projects we use approved standard packaging to launch the product in the market faster, and also achieve cost efficiency and supply chain efficiency to that. So when we do these faster launches, we try to get early market feedbacks, work upon the improvement areas, develop the packaging and the marketing mix properly, and then launch it globally, nationally, to have better success rates. Just to give you an example, we have two digital brands in Marico. One is Pure Sense, another is Cocosol, and the products ranges from skin creams to hair care, till the like food and hand cream as well. So the requirement for all these pack formats are very different, and as I said, what we did is that so earlier the packaging used to come from imported, so it used to come from China, having higher lead times and higher MOQs as well. So the lead time goes up to like 3 to 4 months if you are getting a pack from China. So what we did is that we worked on these brands, developed local molds over here, and standardized the SKUs from almost like 20 SKUs. We brought it down to 6 SKUs, and tried to build up on the economy of scale over here for smaller brands, where you need to have a lot of cost efficiency involved into it. And we also tried to create differentiation, or create through use of different kind of master batch effects, like translucent, opaque, or matte finish, gloss finish kind of effects. So within the same packaging, we can still create different aesthetics, different product can fill into it. We standardized the necks of these bottles to like 24410 neck, which helped in terms of using the same bottle for different dispensing mechanisms like pumps or closures or some applicators basically. So overall, doing this kind of interventions, it helped the brand to reduce the packaging cost almost like by 50%, and reduce the supply chain lead time by from 3 to 4 months. It brought it down to 2 to 3 weeks. This helped in terms of launching this product into the market faster, even because as I said, in e-com markets the orders or the requirements comes very erratic. So you need to have a very faster response time for sending these packs to the market, and this actually helped in terms of doing giving up more effective solution to the e-com market channels basically.
Excellent, very good. So overall win-win, as he said, overall win-win. Standards, as the work done by him in various aspects like bottle size and labels and designs and colors and all those things, has brought huge changes with respect to cost, efficiency, lead time, profitability, everything is win-win. So congratulations to Sanjeev for doing that great work. Thank you so much for sharing this. Now, we are entering into the second round of questions, starting from Mr. Ram once again. I hope everybody is enjoying the discussion. Yes or no? Yes. All right. Thank you so much for being an attentive and honest audience. Thank you so much. Now, let me come back to Mr. Ram once again, sir. As I mentioned in your introduction, you have been instrumental in setting up a green field project of personal care in Assam. The record 300 days, just a short time. Though it's a complex project, how could you manage to follow all the standards, machines and materials and everything, and you did this from concept to commissioning? What's the wonder you did, sir? Share with us, please.
Okay, so before we come to Assam, I just want, maybe I am the only one, looks like, who has gone into Pakistan as well. Yes. And, just I'm sharing an anecdote, because I felt so proud to say that when I went inside Pakistan, across the Wagah border, the people loved me so much. They hugged me. They gave so much love I spent 7 days there, in Lahore. I met the Chamber of Commerce people, I met the president of the Chamber of Commerce because Unilever was investing 100 million USD there. I traveled in car from Lahore to Multan, around 250 kilometers, and like anything, you travel from Delhi to Chandigarh, you have dhabas, you sit and eat, muddas are there, paratha, chapati, everything. So then the old city also of Lahore I went and had, rajma chawal, dal chawal, anything of that sort, and chicken and all. And it was an amazing experience. We have got almost 4 factories there of Unilever, and what you see in the news or in the TV is not what Pakistan is. There is a metro which runs in Lahore. The people are so hospitable, and when I was there in Multan, in Ramada Hotel, they did not took the money, They said, no, you are our guest, you have come thus far, how can you give a rent for staying here in the hotel? They didn't take any money from us. That's a kind of a hospitality you have there. So I just thought of giving it because that's a people-to-people connect we have. And though I'm saying it's an out of context, but then I thought let me mention
Lahore
it.
से दिल्ली आए ना वापस
Lahore से वापस आया and I crossed the border as well. But that was okay. Coming back to Assam, and this was something I don't know if you have gone to Upper Assam. We are just 200 kilometers from China border, and we were the only. I'm saying not very. Only few industries are there. There's all tea gardens. Of course, we were also owning at one point of time tea gardens also there, and there was a Assam government giving incentive to invest there. This was the time of Sonowal when he was the chief minister there. I'm talking of 2016, 2017 time of it. So I just landed from Istanbul because I was there, and then they said, okay, this is an assignment for you to go to Assam. So you can stay for 1 day in Mumbai and then move on. I said, fine. My kids and my wife, they were in Istanbul because of the schooling and they couldn't come. They have to complete the session and then only. So I said, fine. So we went there. And we had one factory there, and then, in Unilever they give you, okay, this is 800 crore to you. This is what we plan to do. Please go ahead and then, let's see. So we organized the team, and the good part of the Assam is that you get the fresh air, you get the best of the tea there, because there's nothing except the tea garden there. So we constructed a team, we constructed a team of 30 engineers and managers, and we upgraded our facility of guest house, etc. there. And then we went on, and I think I would say that the Assam government under Sonowal was very, very cooperative. I met the district magistrates of Digbrugad, met the general managers of the railway there. I think they were really happy that Unilever has come to invest 800 crore there. People used to come and all. And in this process, we almost had close to 2,000 people of the labor. I'm saying the workers, working there. And I'll just tell you anecdote, why I say that we were successful. And I can tell you, there is no project which can fail. As long as the people there fail the project. It's the people. It is the strength of the people there. And I can tell you one anecdote only. I'll not take much of the time. Is that we had 2,000 people working there, and Diwali was the day, and I was there at site, and I had 1,200 people there working on Diwali. There was a Lakshmi Pujan, in the 6 o'clock, and most of them, and we were doing erection, somebody were working on BEB, civil, and putting in the packaging machines, my colleagues have supplied, we were putting in, 6 mass packs we were putting it inside it. And all this was happening, and there was a time I thought, this Diwali, just because my kids and wife is not here, they are in Istanbul, and I am there, we are on this thing, all these guys are also there. So I thought, why don't we give them something to cheer about? So I said, okay. So my team said, let's give them 1 kg kaju katli, sweet to them, all of the people. I said, fine, I calculated here, it will need at least 1.2 ton of kaju katli. So, because I'm saying, if you have to give, you have to give it to all, you just can't distribute. So I said, fine. So there was a group in Tinsukia. Tinsukia is like, people there are mostly from Rajasthan who do the business there, and there was a group and they added me into the group, and they said that, sir, if you need blood, we are there also to supply that also. I said, fine. So I put on that chat box that I need 1.2 ton of kaju katli and I have only 6 hours, Can you supply it? So they said, yes, we'll. So there were like 25, sweet shop there. They said, we'll make kaju katli for Unilever, All of them made it, and within 6 hours, at 4 p.m., 2 trucks came in with 1.2 ton of kaju katli, in the boxes. I had not paid it anything in this process. We said, okay, we close the day at 4 o'clock. We gave all the laborers, all the people who were there, including myself, 1 kg of kaju katli to all of them. It cost me around 1.5 lakhs of it. I never took any approval. It just said, yeah, kaju katli, that in the late night my boss called, yaar, tumne kaju katli aaj baant diya, maine suna, maine kahan baant diya. But acha kiya. So that's a kind of leadership you have to show on the field as well. Because it's not something written in a book, You just go ahead and do it. What is good for society is good for Unilever. And I can tell you, the people who were there, they got so galvanized into small anecdotes. There was another anecdote of where, in that time, the temperature in winter went down to 3 or 4 degrees. I said, yeah, I saw the attendance falling down because most of the laborers were sleeping, on the floor in their, And I said, why can't we give them kambal? मैंने कहा कितने कम्बल लगेगा? बोला साहब करीब 2000 लगेंगे. मैं बोला ठीक है, 300 से उठा लो जितने कम्बल उठाना है. And my team just distributed, went to the house and distributed the kambals to them. So these are small things which, as a leader, if you do that, the people who are doing the job, they get, minimum of the wages, maybe slightly more than that and all. This love and affection, I can tell you, our progress, I thought I will do it in 3 months of a PV building and all. Actually, I didn't do anything. I was just standing there day and night, and they were doing it everything, That's a kind of agility and motivation, people did it for us. And when the day came when we invited, Chief Minister Sonawal to come, and he came, and similar to that, he was giving a speech. So he thought it was last year. So he said, the project started in January last year. So then I reminded him, sir, this year only. He said, hey? So he said, yes, we started when we completed it and all. And our CEO also flew down from London. So my only giving that context was that the people are the heart of it. If you keep people into that context, I think there is nothing which is impossible to achieve. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram, for bringing this, the value of human asset. It's people who make or break the business. And you really very nicely shared the leadership skill and leadership quality you displayed. Commendable. Thank you very much for sharing that story. And that's why I think you will complete this much before time. Set the success standard. Very nice. Thank you very much, sir. Right. Let's come to the pharma now. Okay. And let's speak to our friend Mr. Shailesh. Sir, you have worked with various companies, handled various dosage forms, tablets, liquids, steroids, aerosols, and many other products. Specifically, do you remember some difficult situation you faced? Some incidents were in the packaging machine or material which you were expecting as per a standard, but that did not happen. Fiasco, which resulted in some challenges.
Yeah, I think there are many.
Because of suppliers or because of internal issues?
Come to it. So there was an ointment that we used to supply to the market, and there was a market complaint basically, and the color actually of the ointment was changing somehow, and that was an obvious complaint because when you squeeze the tube, there's a different color ointment coming out. The shades are wearing out. And then when the complaint came, actually it was very unexpected, and we started working on it, and we saw that it has changed, the color has changed. So then we started searching what happened to the materials and all, and ultimately we found out that in the tubes which we have, we need to have some lacquer coating, so it will prevent the contact of the drug with the aluminium. And this was it used to be a very common complaint that we had. And that lacquer coating, because it was not there, the drug interacted with aluminium, and ultimately the color changed. So this is one. There are many for mix-ups, which there have been huge number of recalls all over the world, because the supply has there are similar cartons for different strengths. So you have one, you take the tablet as a smaller strength, but there is a higher strength tablet. So it has a disastrous effect on the health of the patient. So those mix-up for packing materials, basically, I mean, say 2 mg, 4 mg, 8 mg. So I get 8 mg carton in 2 mg carton in 8 mg.
8 mg. Oh.
So it is very dangerous. And then we find out that, then what happens? We get a complaint. After we complain, we find out that this lot is being used for 4 batches. So you have to recall all 4 batches, maybe. But now it has changed. We have got barcodes. We have got machines which sense the barcode and reject the barcode. So that part of the complaints have come down, and so it is slightly under control. The other thing that always varies is even my colleagues over here must be facing is the no standardization of colors.
Yes.
Different suppliers giving different shades, and you're on the same shelf, your products looking different. So it may not attract the customers also, because they will find something fishy in there, and then it is not as per your standard, as per your definitions.
Yes.
So,
and sometimes when you are working with packaging development department, it becomes very difficult for you to convince quality control people. मान जाओ यार, थोड़ा बहुत होता है, likewise. But QC guys, no sir, this is your light and standard and dark. Now your samples are falling beyond that, can't be accepted, rejected. Now we purchase guys or development guys get into deep trouble. तो थोड़ा सा उनके ऊपर जाएंगे, उनके बॉस के पास जाएंगे, थोड़ा उनके ऊपर बॉस के पास जाएंगे, supplier को थोड़ा डांटे बांटेंगे, and then somehow we get it done. But yes, color is it's a perception, and it has always been a challenging situation for packaging people. Thank you very much, Mr. Lal, for bringing that topic, the subject. Thank you so much. Now let me come to Amit. Amit, you have been stalwart in packaging. You have proven record of problem solving through innovations, and you said that there is no box. And you said that you have done a lot of work in EPR and plastics waste management. 2016, you have done a lot of work on that subject. So, what has been your experience about the role of standardization in entire packaging value chain? Let's share with the audience, please.
Thank you, sir. So I would also like to give a small example. Actually, when we started Geo, so I am the one actually very unique person who has worked with marketing also, worked in R&D also, and now working in purchase procurement also. So all 3 functions I have worked, because thanks to my alma mater IIT, so I worked in all of them. So the first example I would like to give is about when I was in marketing, and I was selling boxes, corrugated boxes to one of the giants, Cadbury's, and there they had a lot of recall because of non-standard boxes. They had given the specification, but the specifications were not followed. That is why they used to get a lot of rejections. And then we came up with the idea of imported paper, and easily it can be seen that it is imported, and difference in shade and all that. And then that is how we sold. And I used to tell my friend, that was very early. So that time 75 paisa I used to get one Cadbury eclair. And after we sold them the boxes, it was 1 rupee. So that's when I was in marketing. But then
We need to blame him.
so of course they must have made a lot of money out of it. But then the second one is when we were launching Jio, and our target was to pack 1 crore, 125 crore SIM cards within a month. And because we had given it free for everyone, and everyone should have one SIM card. And we got one machine to pack from Canada. And so that machine works on a very small tolerance, 0.2 mm. And the cartons that we were buying, we had tolerance of 10%. 10% tolerance. So, and the capacity of this machine to pack was 450,000 SIM cards per day. And that was the only one in India. Everyone else does it manually. And the output that we were getting was 30,000 only pieces every day. So, Baki ka everything was waste. The reason I said no, because all these Canadian or European machines, they work on a very, very small tolerances. So then, that time I was heading COE for packaging and automation for Reliance, and then I was in picture, and then we worked with the suppliers. We made them understand that 10% ठीक है, but that's now the paper नहीं मिल रहा. They were not getting paper पे ही इतना tolerances हो जाता है. Then working with them, trying to make them understand the difficulties, why the material is getting rejected, and then slowly we got that. We developed the paper also. We said how to stack, how we should. So we went down to the level that it should not be packed horizontally, it should be vertically packed, so that the pressure is applied and it is easily moved. Then we worked with the machine guy that India mein nahi chalega, your 0.1 mm tolerances, you have to work with us. You have to change the machine. So we changed the machine also. So within a span of maybe 20 days, we got it to 3 lakh per day output. And then maybe 45 days, we bought it to 4,50,000. And then we bought 5 more machines and did the change part that we expected for India. And then that is how we work. So if you are looking for speed and accuracy, you have to go for standard packaging materials. Speed and accuracy both. If you are looking only for speed, accuracy chalega, then it's okay. But if you are looking at both speed and accuracy, then you have to go for standard materials and proper specification, and only then you will be able to establish value chain, because otherwise the wastage, that is enormous wastage, which will add to your value chain. So when we purchase, I also tell this story to my teammates that there was one purchase guy like me. So he was given a 1 meter cloth, and he was asked to make caps. So he went to the top guy, best in this. He said, boss, 1 meter hai, how many caps can you make? So he said, boss, only 1 cap I can make. So one, can you not make it 2? 2 to nahi possible, only 1 possible. Then he went to the next second best or third best. So we said, ठीक है सर, खींच तान के we can make maybe 2 caps. तो 3 बना सकते हो? तो उन्होंने नहीं सर, 3 तो नहीं, 2 बहुत मुश्किल से we can make 2, but 3 is not possible. So he went to other, थोड़ा सा non-standard लोगों से मिला. Then one guy he went, कितना बना दे? सर 1, 2 भी बना दे, 3 भी बना दे, 5 बना दे. सर कल आ जाओ 10 बना के दे. 1 मीटर कपड़े में 10 कपड़े, 10 कैप. तो ठीक है, खुशी परचेज वाला मेरे चलेगा. बॉस को बोला सर 10 बना देंगे. ठीक है बना. So next day he went and he said, okay sir, 10 caps. They are ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fingers ka caps. So that's how the standards are important. You have to really stick to the specification.
Well said, Afin. Thank you very much for enlightening us on this finger cap and head cap. Lovely sharing. Thank you so much. That's the beauty of the panel discussion. You learn from the heart, and you share from the heart. That's something great. So let me go to Mr. Sachin. So Sachin, you being instrumental in developing cost-effective alternatives for various operational and procurement strategies in your organizations, so what can be the impact of standardization on the commercial aspect?
So can you please enlighten us about this in the pharma industry?
So, hearing to the philosopher, I don't know how do I take it, but then when you look at standardization, it's only savings, nothing else. In Indoco Remedies, in last 4-5 years, what we did was like, standardizing, let's say, the smallest of the thing was like about PP caps and the PET bottles. We standardized the neck of a PET bottle, wherein the changeover time on the machines were absolutely reduced. Because whether you run a 30 ml bottle, you run a 60 ml bottle or a 100 ml bottle, you just have to adjust the height. And then you don't have to do anything. That reduced our inventory for the PP caps, the cups, everything. And it was a complete and standard thing. So, as you first said about the auditors, you don't have to do anything, you just run the mill run and the machine takes it over. And you are not doing anything much also. So, that's the way it is. But apart from that, what we did, I would like to give a classic example when I was in Cipla. I don't want to name the products that we did it, but then, there was a pressure, bring in procurement and then in the supply chain and all. Every year you have something, management telling you, 5% kam hona hai, ye sir. So how do we do it? And again, when it comes to packaging material, any pharma industry could be, contributing, or the packing material would be contributing to around 6 to 8% to 10% depending on the product that you have. So, there were inhalers and rotacaps which are big products for Cipla. And we wanted to reduce it. We didn't want it to compromise out also because we wanted that white bag, good, display. Not like Cadbury's that we could get 25 paisa more, but then, still. So, the thought process was like, how do we do it? हर supplier को लेकर बैठे थे, हर एक को, कोशिश करी थी कि कैसे कम करें. So, we started discussion and then suddenly we came to know there is a wastage at the supplier's end. We used to get ITC board with 36 by 42 as a size, the biggest size, and they used to align their, 16 ups or 32 ups. That was the thought process. So we started thinking about it, and then an idea came up. A tri-party thing we worked out with ITC, and today also there is a Cipla board in ITC, wherein the size was 28.5 to 32.6. That was the precise size, wherein the inhaler and the rotacap sizes were being set. Believe me, we could save around 12 to 15% of the wastage at the supplier's end, and the benefit was more than 6 to 8% to us. And I think so my colleagues started with the color variations and all those type of things, wherein we went to a typical color fixed upon it. Like you have that magenta color which always gives you a different look. Sometimes good, sometimes not bad, but then आप जब भी बोल रहे थे ना वो पैकेजिंग डेवलपमेंट और परचेज जाकर कैसे क्यूसी के साथ हमको तो 19-20 लगता है और उनको 30-40 लगता है.
Yes, you are right.
So I think we did a lot of work on that part, and believe me, what we are working today is about blister pack. If you would have seen, when you take your blisters, sometimes it's perfectly fixed, sometimes it plays, the tablet plays into it. So what we are trying to work is like try to reduce the pocket size and make a standard for maximum number of tablets. 1 mm saving on a blister pack, and you produce 1 million of tablets. You know what's the volume that you're going to save on the aluminium foil and the PVC film. I think so that's going to be a little pain to these guys because when they develop the machines and then they change parts also. But that's going to be an immense effect on things that we are going to make it forward. We have done a lot of standardization on cheapers. I think so my colleagues have already spoken, so I don't want to get, but then whatever you do a standardization, it just saves money, saves time, and you get a productivity. I think so that's good enough to talk about standardization.
No, sure. Very well said, very well said. Standardization always matters, and that always results into the positive savings in terms of the time, effort, money, always. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sachin, for sharing your knowledge on this. Now let's come to our youngest speaker, Mr. Sanjeev Sharma, who has been waiting for to share his wisdom on this. As I understand, Sanjeev, you have led numerous packaging projects from
concept to completion, handle many projects in your career. You are known for your innovative thinking, problem solving skills, attention to detail, and commitment to quality. So how does packaging standardization ensure product consistency and quality from all the projects what you have handled so far?
So I had the opportunity to work as a packaging consultant with Unilever UK in the past, and as Mr. Ram had already touched upon that how Unilever and major FMCG companies have standardized their packaging designs so that you get the same pack all across the globe. So it's the same design, same only there will be a little bit of change in the graphics because it depends upon the geographical location and the kind of consumer we are targeting over there. So what I would like to touch upon is that how we are able to do this. Like so when we're talking about standardizing a pack design, but we also need to have the similar kind of a consistency with respect to quality and functioning to be achieved. So I had worked with Unilever UK supply chain team for the deodorant projects, and Unilever had its global R&D center for deodorant based out of Blades, where all the packaging design for the deodorants were designed over there, developed, and then rolled out globally. So at the start of the very project, we used to fix the mold makers and the machine suppliers for the assembly machines and the converters at the start of the project, so that and this mold makers and and the machine suppliers were fixed, even if it is for, let's say, for Europe or America or Asia or for any part of the world basically. So this helped in terms of achieving first of all is with respect to cost negotiation, proper good cost negotiation, and also with respect to prioritization of the projects, because everything has a timelines attached to it and we need to achieve those timelines. All these molds and machines were developed basis Unilever global standards, and to achieve that, Unilever had developed standard user requirement specifications, which included the build quality, acceptance protocols, in-machine quality checks, quality acceptance criteria, efficiency percentage, and scrap norms. So how do you achieve this? Because these are laid down procedures, laid down system, laid down criteria. All the machine suppliers had to abide to this to achieve, and once the machine is developed, if you successfully produce this, the replicating machines will also achieve the same kind of quality and same kind of consistency, and that's what we used to ensure over there. So these standards helped Unilever achieving 100% good quality components, which used to directly go into the filling lines without any further QC checks, and it had a huge impact with respect to the efficiency and the production numbers basically. So similar approach, I believe in Marico also we are taking. So for the international business groups, wherein we are doing the development in India, in Mumbai, with our packaging R&D team, and then globally rolling it out with teams in markets in Vietnam, Bangladesh, Egypt, and some other countries. So so this is how we are working to achieve the right kind of quality and consistency. I would also like to touch upon CAP boxes. CAP boxes is one of the most neglected packaging material, but if done with the right approach and right mindset, it can unlock huge savings, huge potential savings. So one of the examples is basically what we also did in Marico is like we replaced our 5-ply CAP boxes with 3-ply CAP boxes by using high ring crust test paper, kraft paper. So now these kraft papers are with made of a higher percentage of virgin kraft or virgin pulp materials, and is to give a huge better strength with respect to the paper here. So this, when we implemented this, not only we are able to save almost like 20% of the paper consumption what we used to have, which has a huge sustainable impact in the environment. Also, it helped us in terms of achieving good quality CAP boxes across different locations and reduce the quality complaints from the markets.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing your learnings and knowledge with all the audience. I'm sure all of us have enjoyed this, isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your expertise, your eloquence, your excellence in sharing your knowledge, your elegance, your ethics, and above all your enterprise. So I am extremely thankful for taking you all your time and then sharing your knowledge with all of us. Now is a time for audience to ask any question if you are ready for that. Okay. So if we have 5 to 7 minutes for question and answer session, if anybody wants to ask any question, yes please, give the mic to him. Your name, sir, and you are from which company, and what's your question?
Yeah, thank you very much for the insights that you shared with some good stories. I'm Jay Soda, and I have a firm called Swayam Bakery. And my question is related to the future of the standardization in context with the robotics and the AI. So if somebody could throw light on that aspect, and especially the kind of materials that would undergo to get these standards at the international global level.
I can answer, I can attempt to answer that question. Let me put it that way. So we use quite a lot of robotics, and robotics can be in the Delta robots or, UR as well we use, which are collaborative robots and robots as well, So like Unscramble, we use the, Delta robots to put bottles into it. Now these are like 200 bottles, 300 bottles per minute. Possimet makes it, and now FGI and the many companies, etc. And we have imported them as well with a high speed. So this is widely used now in the industry as well. Getting a robot, and once like Delta robot, I don't know if you have seen 3 fingers type of Delta robot, they pick it up and then put it on the pucks, as it comes in the bottles and all. And they will put there's a sensor also attached to it. They will see the front side of the bottle if it is a label, so that every time the front side bottle is on that side, so the sensor sees it, and then if it has to reject it, will reject it, otherwise it puts the bottles in. So robot does that, and I'm talking about speed of 300 bottles per minute and 200 bottles, humans can't do. Maximum they can do it till 40 bottles per minute because of the nature of it, I'm saying. So this is like a machine tending or let's say unscramble part of it. We also use a lot of AI also is being used. So I don't know if you know the company called Pester. I'm saying Mesche München, it is also from Germany only. And we use, I have used recently in my Assam project as well. These are, it shares like if we make a bundle of, let's say 4 by 6, 24 shampoo bottles, let's say Tresemme. Now there could be a possibility that one bottle is missing, and it's like a short pack, Okay. So there's a camera which vision system, maybe from Cognex or SICK or any other company, it sees that the bottle count is not there. So it actually compares that image with the standard image or a similar image and see that, okay, 90-95% is same, it will allow, if it is not same, it will reject.
Deep learning.
Yeah. So basically it is using, I'm saying the machine learning as well. And also it is using some kind of an intelligence, I'm saying, in terms of image. It may not be accurate image, but then it sees the comparison that whether, how close it is, whether 90% close, it will allow the product to move. So this is how I'm saying the packaging industry is currently being used.
But my interest is more related to the kind of materials.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on some boxes where, like in the initial discussion, we mentioned about a product that would have a sustainability and the reusability as well as the environmental friendly. So if you could throw light on that.
I would suggest, Ramsap, can we take it a little later?
Sure. I think because it's a very wide subject.
Yes, it's going to be wide one. Yeah. Anybody else who has some question from our expert panelists? Anybody else? You have some questions, sir? Yeah. Yes.
Hi, I'm Viresh from Luxtech. My question is about the sustainability. As we all know that sustainability is the most token on it. And how are you going to standardize, making all the reuse material, all the things coming up, so unstandard. So how are you going to cope up with that future things?
I will attempt this time.
Yeah.
So, all this non-standard material that is being collected, what happens? I'm sure everyone will be wondering, what happens to this? So there is a process by which all these materials collected, washed, segregated, and then once it is segregated, then according to the the properties, it is then made into small pallets. So these are again standard pallets. So as in sustainability or recyclability doesn't change the outlook of the product. But only thing is we are only collecting and putting it to use. So it is not make waste, make use and waste. We are actually making, using, and then bringing it back and again using. So it's all standard products that we are using. PET that we are presently recycling, that is a maximum, the most recycled material is the PET. And we are collecting it back, and then I'm sure you must have seen Mumbai Indian wearing all these jerseys. They are made from these PET bottles, recycled PET bottles. So these products are all standard, and again, a lot of things, again, PVC which is coming back is, we are making chairs out of it. So it's all standard material that is coming back. Only thing is, it's just coming back and we are putting it to use, repurpose again. So that's my attempt.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Just to add what Mr. Amit told. So packaging design will play a very important role with respect to sustainability. So when we are saying that we are having bottles with labels and all, how are we being thoughtful and mindful to have and use similar material, so label and the bottle are of the same material or not. Similarly, a lot of companies, what they are doing is that they are moving out of labeled bottles to shrink sleeve bottles. Why? For the reason of that, because to make the consumers more intuitive, that they can tear off the shrink sleeve very easily, and then the bottle can go to the stream of the bottle, HDPE bottle, and the sleeve can go into the stream. Similarly, a lot of sustainable materials are being developed nowadays, and keeping in mind how we can do the recycling properly. In India, definitely recycling is a problem, and but given the current context where the government has set up and I really actually see the kind of change that happened from 2018 to 2023, wherein earlier there was no recyclers in India, but nowadays there are so many recyclers which come up. There are so many EPR companies which have come up who are collecting material, collecting plastic waste from the environment, and they are sending it for proper recycling methods. Maybe the recycling methods are not that involved, and right now we are only using it for either converting it to fuel through pyrolysis process, or it is going to the cement kiln industry basically. But I think more and more when we are collecting proper packaging materials, and mostly we are doing mechanical recycling right now, and I think we have to go into the step. We have to go to the step of making it chemical recycling, wherein you can actually regenerate the packaging material to the original pellet or original polymer, and then start using it.
Yeah, a lot of work is happening in this.
Just a small correction. In fact, India is the best recycler. It has always been a country which was recycling. Sorry, but I always say that if there was a gold medal for recycling, it would definitely go to India.
Very true.
Because earlier it was unorganized structure. Kabadi wala used to come, collect newspapers, collect PET bottles, and they were all putting to use.
Absolutely.
And only thing is now they are just trying to organize it and trying to make it more beneficial for the rack pickers, and helping the rack pickers pick it up properly, and so that's what it is. So, but India, it's a fantastic industry, and it is going really fast, and we are making also pallets out of it. So
Now there are no more kabadi wala, they are industrialists.
They are industrialists.
So that's a difference.
So gold medal is always for India.
Thank you very much, dear panelists, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom on the suitable questions, whatever you were given. I'm sure, last one? Okay, last question from the gentleman, and then we close the session.
Good evening, sir. It's a wonderful session from all of you. So my question is specific on.
We want you to be visible. Can you please stand up so that we can all see you? Yeah.
So the question was on blister pocket size optimization, which Sachin sir told about it. So he was talking about 1 mm reduction in pocket size, where we see maximum pocket size tolerance is 1.5 mm. So he's talking about almost nil tolerance in pocket size. And one more question to add about major pharma thing, where every pharma company is working on PVC replacement to be more sustainable plastic material in terms of blister packs. So can you enlighten on this?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
Very big question. So I think we will divide that into parts. Let my other colleagues take that thing. But I didn't knew that there would be more packaging development guys than, you know. So believe me, we are working on this. Whatever you said is right. You know, the tolerance is of 1.5 mm. But we are very closely working because, you know, the tablets that we manufacture it as an Indoco or, you know, a company, we are trying to see with our R&D also to standardize the tablet size on reduction of the, you know, the excipients. Try to bring it to the minimum level and, you know, try to see that the tablets are equivalent, and then try to see that the pocket sizes are being reduced. So that's the target. What used to happen earlier, you would have seen, like when we saw the initial PET being used for blisters, or rather, you know, when you had the CR foils coming up, there were one single type of an pack and all tablets were being packed in it. So it used to play and a lot of tablets used to crack on it. You know, and then from there the standardization actually started thinking about that what can be done, because that time the change parts were costlier than the packing material that used to come, and then changing on that particular machines, because those were high speed machine, highly technical you know, competency were being required, and that's where it came up also. I don't know who's going to take up for this, you know. Thank you.
So you were talking about PVC being taken out. So there are 2-3 reasons for this. One of the major reasons is what I told is the moisture permeability. The film capacity to retain moisture on the other side. So earlier, if you remember now, the regulations are also getting stricter, and we have to test all the drugs on stability. All the markets are demanding the same. Now PVC, as you know, it is an age-old material that has been used for, I don't know, about 35-40 years for blister packs. And then we had produced drugs, and then we are marketing in the same PVC, where now when the stability studies of the drugs are going on, we find that the efficacy of the drugs have gone down before the shelf life ends. Now this, one of the major factor is water, moisture. And the permeation from PVC is very high. You can see many of the drugs now coming into either alu blister packs or alu strip packs, which is the least permeable. And that is one of the major reasons of PVC being there, apart from what we say as a pollutant or non-degradable thing. So more and more drugs you will see coming into alu blisters or something of that sort. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, all the panelists. Thanks a lot for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. I'm sure audience must have. For the last question, gentlemen, we can ask separately, please.